Ready to love the After Discussion
Ooh.
Season 5, Episode 6. What's up? Hey, it's the second shot at love. It's the second shot at love. Ready to love? Ready to love? Ready to
We're
love?
ready to love with these lovers. We're ready to love with these lovers.
Yo, that's nuts. My YouTube is connected to my
You
TV
watch
and
yourself
I'm
live
watching
right
us
now?
right now. It's too much. I can't
That's
do
deep.
it.
That's really deep,
It's
Jaime.
so deep. Let me mute this because that is like, we're stars. I see us on TV right now. Gus, what's going on?
Hey, just trying to still recover from my birthday party on Sunday.
Talk to me about it.
Oh my gosh, my friends are just glorious and they got me drunk because I'm not drinking for the whole 40th year. So I'm going dry. My actual birthday was yesterday. So they got me tipsy off all the wine and champagnes and a couple shots because of Thomas, little asshole. And I'm still hurting a little bit because that's what happens when you get old.
I cannot believe it. First of all, you're not old. So you're 40 years old. How does it feel? You done walked into the portal of the big 4-0. You look great, friend. You're
Thank
killing
you.
it.
It helps when you have this really bright light, so I appreciate that. I feel great. I've never felt better. It's people always say like when you get into your 40s, you actually start living, and I was a little concerned with that because I trusted and I knew that I felt that innately, intuitively. Throughout my 30s, I was like, oh, I'm working through the shit that's going to be really, really good to have on my tool belt and be able to move forward through as a 40-year-old. And yeah, I don't know about y'all, but that Pluto that's in retrograde or whatever's going on in the universe and the stars has been heavy for everybody. And this full moon coming up on the 19th is like going to be so big. So there were times where I was just, before I turned 40, where I was like, is this going to be okay? And the universe provided, and it's more than okay. And it's exactly how it's supposed to be. And I'm full of gratitude and my heart is full and it feels amazing.
I love that. I'm so excited. Congratulations. 40 it is. You know me,
Thank
I'm over
you.
here still
You got like
inching my way
7, 8
towards.
months. What?
Oh, I think it's 7, 8 years. Yeah, something like that.
Totally. Yeah. I used to babysit you. That's how I know you. Yeah. I was a babysitter.
Babysitter.
We weren't in the same grade in high school. That's not how we know each other. I was your babysitter.
And y'all gonna have to excuse me because I drank a half a bottle of wine before coming on here. So
see, she's making up for me being dry this whole year. So
yeah, I got you. You drink, I drink. You don't drink, I'll drink for the both of us. That's how it
works.
goes.
That's friendship, Jaime. That's friendship.
I mean, that's what friends are for. I'm here
absolutely.
for it.
But speaking of 40, though,
get on into it.
I'm ready to fucking love.
Well, I love that the title of this episode 6 was Second Shot at Love. And what you and I have in common is that, yes, we've been with people. I've been engaged. I've been with people who've had children and been not really a bonus mom because we weren't married, but I've interacted with people's children. You've had great relationships. But being where we are now, we are seeing the title of the show being Second Shot at Love. And it seems timely to be in your late 30s or early 40s and to be second shot at love. A lot of people are divorced. A lot of people have kids. A lot of people are, baby moms and all these things, which is all fine. But it just seems like this pocket of time and day and age is perfect to align with the love you're meant to be with. So I just love all of this, that it's your birthday, the title of this show, and all the things that we see unfold in it.
Well, thank you so much, my glorious bestie. Yeah, and for them having the courage to even go on to this, after everything that you just said that they've been through, what they, their circumstances currently, it's not so easy for people to get back to that place of willingness and having an open heart to actually. We know, especially people like us, and I'm sure if anybody's watching, you're watching because you follow us, and if you follow us, you're probably innately a highly sensitive person. That's kind of just where the tribe we're a part of. So for us, that's not easy to be able to open up your heart again. And for them to do that on national television, once again, I'm just going to give them a round of applause because it's extremely commendable. And I'm grateful for it because I get to watch and I get to learn. I'm going to have my opinions and I try my best to be as civil as possible and not let my Scorpio stinger come out. And I'm in the spotlight, so I get it because I don't want people to talk about me like that. So I try my best, but I still also want to have raw conversations. So I think that's what we do here. And this is what me and Jaimi do every day of our lives anyways. Since high school, we talk every day about this mostly and everything else, just life. We're tribes. So this show is the perfect little thing to keep talking about,
Yes, I love it. And your vibe attracts your tribe. I like Raw
Go
because at
off.
the end of the day, you know what I'm saying?
Give them the quotes right away. Boom, boom, boom.
I like Raw because this is the thing. We are both in entertainment. We've both been in Hollywood. We've both been on stage. I mean, you've been on bigger stages and bigger cinemas and movies. But the bottom line is we've both had to perform in a particular way. And I'm like somebody, especially being a Gemini, give it to me straight. Like, I don't want you to be like, that was great. And then go behind my back and be like, if she could just tell me, okay?
Yeah.
I'd rather you be like, this girl is but. And so when I do watch this show, because we're in the industry, I do get moments where I'm like, should I submit? Should I audition? Should I try to get on the show? Should I? And I'm like, out of all the performing I've done, I don't know if I can handle this. So
yeah, totally.
because this is very sensitive.
Touche. I had something really great lined up to say after that, but I lost it after you hit that point. I was like, touche. Yes, like I forgot what I was going to say because I really started to go into that mindset of
how nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I think it'd
because
be
this is
fun,
personal,
but it's really personal, and you're showing the world colors that you're not used to even showing yourself or your friends and family. And if they are the colors that you're showing your friends and family, they're probably the ones that they're kind of just like, oh, here she goes again, as opposed to being constructive, which is why it's great to have my tribe because we're constructive all the time. We don't kind of let things slide. But you saw a lot of things coming out of people this episode. That's for sure. Speaking of colors, but first of all, we're halfway through. We're halfway through the season, which is nuts, and I love it. And I see you guys in here watching. So if you have comments, ideas, I can't see. So
or yeah, there's a couple of people in here. It's been going from in and out of people, but. If you guys have comments about the show or about your love life or about vulnerability or anything, please interact with us because we love it.
Yeah, it's our favorite thing.
Yeah, and it's very important that we touch base on these things because this is what it's all about. We want to watch the show. We want to have a full out after discussion,
Absolutely, yeah.
So I was thinking for this episode, because there were so many dates, we could just go in order and you don't have to worry about it. Cool. I have literally everything like listed out from who went to what.
I got it all. I got my little list too. I've been doing my homework. I got to keep up with you, Jaime Alexander. You are host extraordinaire. I've been doing this for since you were a teenager. So I've watched and learned from you, and I know that I'm not going to get on this platform and not be prepared like you because I'm not going to make an ass out of myself. So actually, if we could just start at that little men's talk table. What do they call it? The gentle. What is it? The men's den. What is it?
Yeah, the den. Yeah, you're right. When the
guys' den or whatever. I just want to start off with Walter. What Walter said. He said,
"Listen, do you know that's the first thing on my page?"
Same.
It's the first thing on my page. I was like, Walter, but I'm not mad. Go on with it.
100%. I need my heart, my mind, and my genitals to agree. Can I get a gay man? Can I get a gay man for that?
I can give you an amen. I'm not mad at him. That's like what it is. That's what we're all looking for. Like that's what it is.
Truth and facts of it all.
We need to all agree. Heart, mind, and genitals.
You know what? To each their own. But if all three of those do not agree, then it's not a go for me.
It's a little bit too hard for no reason. And I don't mean that in a good way.
Yeah, I was like,
I don't mean that in a good way. It's a little bit too challenging for no reason.
I'm just gonna take a little sip of this tea.
Right, and I love that. I need my heart, mind, and genitals to agree. Walter, I feel you. Because a lot of the times I feel like in this day and age, we like to front a little bit like, I don't know about you, Gus, but a lot of people tell me, especially because I'm particular about looks, like I'm tall, I'm fit, I've been in Hollywood, I've modeled, I've this and that. I'm not really asking for more than what I have to offer. So for
100%.
me wanting a man that's tall or who's fit or who can get out and hike with me I don't want to feel or seem like I'm superficial because I want a sexy ass man.
The whole rhetoric of trying to settle for less, and 100%, the rhetoric would be like, well, you're too picky. Why is that? Why does it have to be something that people use as their reality? Like you just said, if you are expressing and being all of these things innately, don't you want to attract a reflection of that in your partnership? Shouldn't you be meeting on the same page and even growing from all those beautiful characteristics and physical things together? Like, so why am I supposed to be not so picky? If I exist, he exists. No? So
It's
I'm
that
with you on
simple.
that. I think that's probably maybe why we're the only single ones, but that's also why we're going to get exactly what we want, because it's not that we are wanting these things because they're outside of ourselves. We're wanting these
Correct.
things because we realize, like we already said, we want that reflection of ourselves. Someone who pays attention to those physical and internal things just as much. They live in that duality and they're both important to them.
Yeah.
And at this age, if you don't have that commonality with me, I mean, what are we really going to do?
What are we
What
doing?
are we going to talk about? How are we going to vibe? How are we going to move? And that whole opposites attract, and those older stories from older generations, they don't really fit into this space that we have evolved to consciously.
They don't. I literally had a conversation with my mother, okay, not too long ago. And she was, my mom is lit, y'all. She's litty, 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 litty. She's my glitter. I call her my glitter. She's where I get all my spark and spunk. So it's just like, she was telling me that, like, she grew up on, you know, opposites attract. And her and my dad are nothing alike. My dad is very like, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm Christian, and my mom's like, when you find me in the club, fight up for the bub, so it's just like, well, how did this happen? And unfortunately, they did divorce.
I just had that visual. Sorry, I had like went blank and had the visual of your mom in the club. Keep going. Sorry, got divorced.
Because my mama used to go to the club with me. It's
with
just
us.
like, what do we? Yeah, we used to go out. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like opposite attract sounds good because you want people to fill in certain spaces, but until it's really time to do life together, and after 27 years, they divorce because that opposite comes with a mindset. Thank you.
The fundamental grounding, the cement is laid, ain't aligned. And yes, it's great because opposites are going to teach you a lot, but that's what I'm trying to say. I think maybe in your 20s and past generations more so, you know, when you meet somebody, opposites may attract because while you're finding yourself, you can see those things that are different and learn and grow from them to still evaluate, find the accumulation of what you become, essentially. But when you're talking about this show specifically and about old-ass grown people like us, hello, I just turned 40 yesterday.
Grown.
That doesn't work because that's only going to cause more friction. It's about being able to see each other, meet each other, and from there still grow from it. It's not narcissistic people. That's not what I'm talking about. Correct. It's a self-awareness. And when you can be so intuitively sensitive and aware of this other person because of your likeness, you're going to actually know what they need to grow on even more.
And so that sounds so beautiful.
That's the beauty of it.
That sounds so beautiful. And, you know, even with my mom now that they're divorced, she's like, my mom is a baseball fanatic. And she's like, if the new guy don't like baseball, I'm not dating him. And you're damn right. Because y'all have to be aligned in a particular way.
If her heart,
mind, and genitals.
Taking her to the games every week and watching those games with her, if they're not at the bar or home watching those games, your mother isn't going to be living fulfilled.
No.
That's her.
Something's going to be missing.
That is her passion. That is the commonality that is essential for them. And she will find that person that is just excited about the Cubs. You know, like they're going to live their best life. You know, it's going to be great. And she deserves that so much. Just like your dad deserves somebody else that's going to have the things come with him that they can share.
Yo, I just, that.
And it's, sorry, I'm just not trying to make this about just us anymore, but I was going to go down a whole path, but that's for another conversation.
No, I love it because that's the point. In Purpose, we opened the show with Walter's quote, I need my heart, mind, and genitals to agree. And Walter, we agree with you. We're not mad. That's all we're saying.
And Dante, as he said, have the conversations with the intentions to get ready to get to know someone, to find that soulmate. When I hear people talking like this, I'm like, thank God there are grown people out there. You know, living in LA, you can't have these conversations. I'm going to jump forward but come right back. But like someone was like, I'm claiming what I want. So what do you want? Just up front. You try to have those conversations with these people that are lost. They take it so personal, like, oh, that's too much. I have to actually, that's a little too deep for me. Well, I'm not swimming in the shallow water. I got out of the baby pool a long time ago. I can't feel all of that. I don't feel that. That's not.
There's no resonance. I can't hear. It was just, so what's your favorite color? We're beyond that. Don't worry about it. You're going to realize what my favorite color is and how I'm feeling depending on the season because you know who I am because of what we've gotten to from where we're going. But we need to start with the intention.
Yes. to move with intention while also staying in the present moment, I think is on my Tinder, is key.
Yes, go Tinder.
Which I hate. I hate online dating. I need to get on one of these shows or something because this online dating is not going
You
to
need
work.
to do a show. You need to get on.
Yes, I loved that about Dante. Every episode I am growing more and more fond of Dante. Like, I'm not gonna lie and be really honest. When I heard he had 3 kids, I was from that point, I was like, meh, meh, but the more I learn about him, the more I still really am enjoying him. And I love that he's still putting himself out there to receive this love. And the way he's communicating. And you know what? Maybe sometimes we as men make mistakes as well and choose the wrong people, just like women do. And maybe that was a circumstance for him. I'm not trying to talk his personal life. I don't know anything about his personal life. My point is it's important for us to stay open to even get to know somebody like these people are doing and like we are doing as viewers. And I don't know about you, but like I said, I'm watching Dante and I'm really starting to like him a lot.
I'm glad you brought that up, and I have to agree with you because it's so funny. Right before we got on this, I thought about Dante, and you know me, the majority of the guys I date have children. Yes. I think I have bonus mommy tattooed. Do you see the tat? It says bonus mom. It's right there because they can all see it because they all come for me. Yeah. And it's usually one man with 2 kids by 2 different women. Like it's a nice little handful of like situation. And I've found myself loving them in certain aspects because you do look at it and you're like, wow, they were at certain points in their life and they made some mistakes and they've grown and evolved from it. But the goal is to grow and evolve. And as a woman, just like, or a partner or, another person dealing with somebody like that, it kind of reminds me of Sabrina. I see so many similarities between what Sabrina has been through and what I've been through. This whole thing is teaching us how to differentiate from who's faking the funk and who's keeping it real. Because as women, as people, we have grace and understanding and all of these things that we can offer people. But are we giving it to the wrong person? Like if you have 3 kids by 3 different women, I don't want to judge you off the bat, but there's a part of me that might need to. Just a little bit
it's because, hard not to.
So it's like, how do you get to the space where you can work the situation, evolve with a person enough to trust that they've grown from past mistakes and past this and that, just like they're doing me. It's just our fruit looks different. So I do like what Dante is talking about. And I do like how he's presenting himself. And I'm liking that we're getting more of a chance to get to know him without just like, oh, I'm spiritual and I meditate and I believe this and that. Okay. Because I done seen men post
There's
about
a lot
God
of spiritual narcissists out there. There are a lot of spiritual narcissists out there. And that's the first thing I thought about. And I was like, great, another spiritual narcissist, great TV. Great TV. But he could be look, I don't think we have enough for me to still count that out. Right. I haven't seen enough of him yet. Correct. And the show doesn't give you that much, to let you know about that. But I do appreciate the way that he's moving. And I would love that to be authentic and for him and that he really has moved beyond it. It seems like that. But,
it seems like it.
Those spiritual narcissists are the best ones that make you feel like they are different than they are. So, but anyways, yes. Anyway.
Yeah, I've been all caught up in that. And this is why this is all important. So again, speaking of Sabrina and me feeling like I have so many similarities.
I already wrote that on my thing.
She's
you're both Geminis. That's funny when you said
Sabrina's
that.
a gem?
Yeah.
Aisha's a gem too. Look at all these bomb girls.
Or was it Aisha that you said was Gemini?
Aisha's a Gemini.
I thought you texted me that she was a Gemini, but okay, so maybe I just read it wrong because we have so many texts between each other.
I know. Sabrina, I don't know what sign she is, but I guess, off the top of my brain, I'm going to say she's a Cancer woman, but I have no idea. But I know Aisha's a Gemini.
I do see a lot of commonality with both of you, though. It feels like you guys definitely move similarly, and that's what an inspiration for you to watch this show and to be able to see somebody still hopeful, still moving so eloquently and elegantly, like you do. And that's the beauty of the show, like I said, to see these people make you feel validated, valued, and just be seen.
Yeah, because one thing we are going to do is we're going to love. There's not going to be any man that disappoints me. Correct. There's not going to be any man that disappoints me to the point where I'm going to just ward off all men and stop loving and stop striving and being open. So when you take that kind of position, it does require a work ethic for yourself to make sure that you're doing all the things to keep yourself open. So I just love when we get to experience the backstories of some of these
Absolutely.
people, you know, so because it
You get to
helps,
see
it's
them.
relatable. Correct. It's so relatable. So Sabrina was very prime time up in here. She done had a lot of camera time and a lot of dates and stuff, and I love that. So the first date, before we hop into her and her stuff, was Zadia and Walter. And I remember last week we were talking about it, and we weren't sure how it was going to go because we loved Sabrina and Walter. But I told you from the gate,
You did.
I
You
like
sure
me some
did.
Zadia.
You
I
called
can
that
see
from
her.
the jump. You called it from the jump. That when she said, "I can write with my feet."
Like men are probably like, oh my God, well, I'd love to see that. What else can you write with your feet? Like,
And
how can you use those feet?
I wrote here, like, I loved the freedom and the playfulness that they had when they saw each other, because I feel like that's
Yes.
hashtag goals for me to have. And then
Yes.
straight from that, they just jumped into the deep end together and started swimming.
Yeah.
And it was just
Yes. Because they
effortless.
can.
And it was, yes, yes, yes. They
Yeah.
can. They
Effortless
can.
because they can. Because we've been talking a lot about Walter and how he's kind of been the one who is able to draw this thing out of women. He's able to
Well,
create this space, but
he
he didn't
gave,
met his match.
no, but he told us how and why he is able to do that. He was raised by all women.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's been through a lot.
Yes, and that's why they all like him. He knows how to tend to speak to a woman. That's what he had to do his whole life. He shared that with us, that he was raised by, I don't know if you have the specifics, but basically everybody was women in his
Yeah.
life. And I
Yeah.
see
You're
that
right about that.
translation into his life and how that's impacted the way that he moves. And our friend Fallon actually posted something today on Instagram saying that something about like my son's gonna need to know how to love a woman, and you
I
can
love
tell
that.
that
I saw that.
his family had those same intentions to make sure that he really knew how to nurture and love a woman, and I think it's really beautiful how he does it.
And you know what I liked? He said, because I had to write it down, and it just made me happy because there's so many other narratives going on out there. I'm on Twitter a lot, and there's men out here like men are the prize, da, da, da. And I get it. Don't get me wrong. To have a good man is a beautiful thing. But Walter very clearly stated that women choose men.
Yeah.
And I loved that so much because sometimes I feel like as women, we give away our power because we get in a scarcity mindset that there are no men. And if a man is choosing us, then we got to be there for him and do everything to keep him there. And da-da-da-da. It's like, no, sweetie, these men like to present what they have. They like to overcome adversity and show what it is that they're about. And we get to say yes or no. And I just love that he was able to even reiterate, not even reiterate, because I believe Zadia knew that, but just to say,
Oh,
that
she
women
moves
choose
that way.
men.
She already moves that way.
Correct.
Yeah, she already moves that
Correct.
way.
I just appreciated that because it's like, thank
Yeah,
you.
it was amazing. And actually, I wrote that down as well.
Yes.
And I said, that's why I am single.
Well,
I think in most relationships, I probably am I'm very masculine. I am a man
yeah,
through
you
and
are.
through.
You really are. Yeah.
But when it comes to me being in a relationship with other men, I am much more into my feminine energy. So
That's
I think I
interesting
need to
because
actually be
yes.
choosing more. And I think that's what the wall that I've come up against a lot, is that I'm not the one just saying I choose you. I'm still acting like a man in that sense, like the other man is. And I'm attracted to men who act like men. So it makes sense that they would be acting like that. And I'm not
Wow.
choosing them because I'm still acting from that very naturally, innately masculine sense of who I operate from and who I am, of how I operate. And
Wow.
yeah, I had a like aha moment. I don't know how many more times I have to have that aha moment, but yes, one of those. It was another one of those moments today.
Yeah.
And speaking of men,
Mm.
friends are so important, and I also want to make sure that, like, we're talking about how amazing those women were in his life, in Walter's
Yeah.
life. But when he said that his friend came to him and said, "Wake up, you're about to pass up the best thing that's happened to you,"
God.
how
Do you know how
commendable is it to have friends in your corner that are willing to check him? It is so important, and
vital, sweetie?
it's
Vital. So the conversation amongst me and my women friends is we are looking for men who have accountable friendships.
100%.
Who are you answering to?
Yes.
Who are your mentors? Who's teaching you? How often are you and your man friends having these conversations?
Especially at our age, because I think a lot of people old ways that were raised in the olden ways would say well, how does your family treat you? How do you react to what your family tells you? In this day and age, I realize that that's, that at least for me personally, the way my family operates and who they are actually doesn't correlate to the way that I move or in any way at all. And it's really important for me and my tribe to be the people to actually help me move forward, because they're the ones that actually see me. They're the ones who actually know me, if that makes sense.
They're aligned. They're tuned into your
aligned.
Frequency. They're on the same page. Yeah.
They're the ones that see me at my lowest and my highest, and not from a parental eyes, of which is going to always be biased because of the worry or whatever they may fill in their narrative of being as their child or anyways, it's your friends. Probably cousins too are the same as friends, I think, though, right? Because I have a couple, like my cousin Alicia is my ride or die. So that whole friend thing, it's so important for us to, like you said, to see, and I'm very much on that. That's one of the first things I watch. When I meet somebody, I'd like to see what his friends are like.
Yes.
And I'll still make excuses if he's fine and his friends are whack, and I'll still be like, I love you, even though I don't. But
that's me. Oh my God.
His friends, when they are legit people, it's a no-brainer for me. And then I go to the family. I do that differently. I'm sure most people say family than friends. I go to the friends, and then I go to the family, because of what I just said. Your family knows you to a certain extent. They think they know you. They don't. They do, but they don't. Your friends,
correct.
They know.
Look, I always tell, after everything I've been through, I always tell my friends, I was like, okay, I am gonna have the next man that I meet. He's going through some vetting, and it's gonna be my friend Gus and my daddy. But he's gonna go through Gus first, because I know men recognize other men's BS. Women recognize other women's. If my tribe ain't strong and can't check me in a particular way and say, "Are you sure this is the way you feel?" Remember last time you said you didn't want to do it. We try to whatever. Same thing with men. Like, why are you showing me this picture of this girl you done met in your phone when you got a wife at home? If your friends ain't checking you, there's
100%.
There's 100%. What are we doing? You got to have a tribe. It's essential. It's vital. It's everything.
Like you just said, if they're doing that, then you know that man's not the right one for you. If that's the way that their friend is operating from that level of consciousness and awareness to move forward. That's why it's
birds of a feather.
Check the friends out first. It's going to be a game changer if you're not already doing that.
Oh, Lord have mercy. We just going to put that one on the board because it needs to be done and it needs to happen. Okay. It needs to happen.
Shall we move on to Sabrina and Sean?
Yeah. So I love, Sabrina and Sean. First of all, when Sabrina rolled up, she gave Sean a hug. I was like, girl,
she sure did.
You brought him in. You gave him a la bise in French.
You said you can feel. She wanted to feel his body. She wanted to feel his body, and she was like, "You can feel my body."
My body all over your body, babe.
Sabrina was like,
she was not playing.
Come here. Where you at, Sean? Come here, Sean.
She brought him in to her
whole
energy. She brought him in.
Such a beautiful, sensual, energy, but it's not overly sexualified and it's not hoey. It's just it's it's womanly.
It's like. She's a woman.
It's
royal.
Speaking of, I've been thinking about that about myself, since we like to talk about ourselves on here too. But I wonder, I'm with the guys that I really like, do I start to exude too much of a friend vibe? Am I sexy enough? Am I intimate and sensual enough? Because I know I am. We all know that. Y'all know me. I'm a Scorpio.
Yeah.
But when it comes to intimacy, though, am I doing enough of what she's doing and blending the worlds? And I don't think I am. So I'm going to try to focus on that.
That is a great motherfucking thing to focus on.
Yeah.
Because I
focus then on the emotions and being there and being the support. And I mean, because I already think I'm naturally, sensual, sexual person, but I'm also really fucking goofy and stupid. So I can get lost in all that. And it's making sure that still exists.
And I don't know about you, but I thought the same thing. But there's always a level of reservation with me, because it's like, I don't know, And I don't know if it's the same for men. And I love we're having this conversation because the dynamic, you're dealing with another man, like how you spoke of the male and feminine and how do I lean in and how do that's so different and unique. And it's such a worthy conversation because it's different. And then on my end, with it being men and women, I think sometimes if I'm too much, I don't always want to give this signal to a man that I want to have sex. I feel like if I touch you too much or am too flirty or am too open, you're just going to be like staring at my vagina for the next 2 hours. And I just,
No,
you know,
yeah.
so it's
It's
like,
the same thing.
what's
It's
the
you
balance?
don't want it's the balance. It's that, and it's finding that balance, which is a masterful art that Sabrina has done.
I think
She's
so.
found the balance of still being sensual, but still saying, yes, this is here. It's divine and delicious, but you still got to start here. You still got to start here, move to here, and then we'll go down a little further. I mean,
Let's
and who cares?
roll.
Whatever,
Roll
right, hidden all them tap chakra. Whatever that is, you know. Yes, it was a huge lesson for me to watch her do that because it's something that's already been innately going on in these beautiful thoughts that I have daily. I say beautiful to be nice to myself, but
As
yes,
you should. You
they
deserve
do.
it.
No, they really are. Like I know, you know, we talk about it. We talk to
Yeah.
ourselves. We all do. We talk to ourselves in our head, and
Yeah.
it's called being aware. It's called awareness.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I love it.
And then when she was like,
those colors.
she was like, yes. She was like, head, and he has a good head on those big muscular shoulders. I was
Go
like,
in, girl.
yeah,
Come
no, that's
on.
necessary. Yeah, that's absolutely necessary.
Yes.
Yeah. Good head on big muscular shoulders.
Yes. And I'm just letting you know I see you, boo.
Yep.
So while you're sitting here listening to me, please give yourself a round of applause.
Same thing we just
Sir.
said. It was she complimented both aspects. She said the physical and sensual right there, all in one place. She's. I really hope that whatever this show does or whatever, that she deserves a really good man. She's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know her, but from what I see, I like her a lot.
Me too. So I have a funny little thing that I pulled from Twitter because you know I'm a little Twitter head.
You
so
are
let's
a tweeter.
Check out this tweet from Chicha Tawan kind of what I can't. Zach's tears.
Look at this little special thing. What'd you do? How'd you do that? You are so good at this stuff.
Yes, I am. Twitter was talking about, I thought sis talking about Sabrina ain't no Korean with Tyrone. Do you remember the beginning? But the new guy, she's Rosetta Stone.
100%.
Hashtag ready to love. When she started speaking Korean, I was like, wait a minute, but you didn't know nothing about Tyrone's song. You was like, I don't understand. But in here you came talking about
yeah, she sure did.
Sabrina.
That was whoever said, well, the Twitter person was accurate because I forgot all about that. It shows you that, you know, when you choose to give some pieces of yourself to certain people, you don't have to others. I could never do this fucking show. I could never do this show.
God,
the way that they just keep dabbling all around with each other and I couldn't do it.
I'm not built for it. I'm not built for it. I'm
all
jealous.
that emotional connection between all those people. Like, that's probably why we're single, because we can't handle that shit.
No, I can't. I'm jealous. I don't date a lot. I don't do this and that. Yeah. If I pick you, I like you. You're mine.
Done.
A little bit of
then
Camille.
Let's sort this out. If I pick you, a little bit of Camille. I got
a little bit of Camille. A little bit. I got a little 0.1 Camille inside.
If I pick you, we're going to figure this out. And then we'll move on from there or move on together. We'll see.
But
I can't.
That's it.
I can't multitask like that in real life. How am I supposed to do that with people?
I don't know.
I'm an actor.
Well, maybe
I already have to do several roles a week. Like I can't do that.
I can't.
And I think that's really hard for men probably to understand, but they don't get like, I already do this every day. You know, I got one tomorrow, I got one Friday, I got one yesterday. Like, I don't know how to do all that and then try to dabble with all y'all people. I'm not a lawyer. You know what I mean?
I don't even have the capacity. My energy doesn't understand.
No.
Or else there's a part of me that's being inauthentic. I'm learning.
No, I can't. 100%. 100%. And that's okay. That is okay that we are the way that we are.
Lord only knows how I'd show up on this show. They'd be like, this girl got to go home.
It'd be such good TV.
Oh my God.
It was interesting too, though, how his whole thing, Sean, about really wanting kids, when she said no, he did kind of, so
did I feel a little teeter on the totter?
Sure did teetery all over the place on that playground. was like, oh, let's go on the spinning thing too and together and smile, whatever you say. Because he sure was not like that with Aisha.
He was not. He was firm, and he knew, you know, he wasn't warm. And not because he wasn't warm because he wasn't open to her, but it was just like, how are you second guessing the main thing that is important to you now because you are enjoying somebody's company? And he specifically said, going with flows, but he's been going with the flow, but it's not been what I wanted. And that has created more hurt than necessary.
Yes.
And that resonates with me. And we do it because when we get in the presence of somebody that we like and feel some kind of way about, we want to compromise. Because what do you do when you're in a real partnership?
You compromise. So
okay.
Yes, 100%.
So, but are
it's
we?
Yeah. It's the craft and art of dating. Yeah, to be able to do that appropriately. And his awareness of what he brings to this shows to me that he's a creator, he's an artist, he's an actor, whatever else he does. He does that, but he's not on the show for that. Like if I were to ever go on a show like this, because I definitely would, no matter how much I've done in my life for the last 30 years, he's saying like, I'm not on here for the reasons that Cornelius is on here to get famous. I'm on here because I actually want love. You know what I mean? Right. And that was you can see that he's here for the right reasons because he knows how to do that. He's aware of his mistakes and he doesn't want to do that anymore. He wants to be present and move forward with intention.
Which is valuable. And I felt him so much on that because between him and Sabrina, she also said all she's dated is representatives.
Correct.
I have to be honest and transparent in this moment.
Good.
All I've dated was representatives.
Yeah.
And it's taken a different part of me to understand and see that and move with grace beyond that fine line. Because again, Sabrina saying that all she's dated is representatives and Sean saying that going with the flow has not been what he's wanted and it's created more hurt than necessary. For me, that's that fine line.
Yeah.
What are we presenting? What are we talking about? Is it in alignment? Does it glow with our principles and standards? And if it does not, no matter how much time we laughed on this date, are we willing to walk away? And that for me has been the hardest part. Am I willing to walk away?
It was pure magic to watch them both do that. I guarantee you they both came to that same understanding, which you just spoke about. They were both able to see that within themselves, outside themselves, together. And that conversation was probably vital in their momentum for this show, for their life, you know?
Yeah.
It was one of those moments.
That's really serious.
Moments. Yeah.
That's serious stuff. That is stuff we're all getting caught up in because we'll get red flags and we'll get, because this is the thing. There'll be a red flag in somebody and it'll just be something that comes up against your boundaries and standards. But you turn around and be like, but they have a good heart and they're so funny and they're so this and da-da-da. But what you gonna do? It either lines up or it doesn't. So are you gonna keep? Sean specifically said, I don't want to be a time waster. I used to be.
Yep.
So Sean, what are you gonna change in this interaction that's going to allow you not to be a time waster genuinely?
Well, he didn't almost, because he said he said, I want you right now.
He did.
I love that he claimed it. I love that he said it. However, as we move forward, we know that he was just repeating a pattern. And he look, obviously, I think he came to this awareness in this moment. So he's not going to shift and break that right here, right now. He's still going to go resort and be like, I want you right now. But he's in his head, it's like, but, right?
Absolutely.
So,
as he should. Part. And that is the hard part.
Oh, because I wouldn't want to be Sabrina hearing that right now. I mean, maybe hopefully she heard that as well, though, the narrative before it, of them both understanding, like, we're not a fit. I like you, but we're not a fit.
Yeah, but see, I wouldn't want to be a man.
She really liked him. I wouldn't want to be like, I want you.
But to be honest, I would rather take that.
Ooh.
Yeah, I at this point, I'd rather have a guy tell me like, I think you're beautiful. I think you're great, but this is just not whatever. What I wouldn't want to be is a man coming across as Sabrina and having to walk away.
Yeah.
Like, you got to walk away from her. She don't want no more kids. She said that. But while we're on the topic of wanting more kids, we got to talk about Aisha and Phil because it's like I could have called that, but I couldn't have. And the way she opened herself up to another layer of depth and understanding with him that she could not achieve with Sean was very interesting. So let's talk about Aisha and Phil. She's attracted and she says it's deeper. Phil is a safe space. And I know there is nothing that makes a woman open up and blossom more than a man who feels safe. A human, and we all feel like we can be more of ourselves and blossom more when we're in the presence of somebody that's safe. So I love that Phil gave that to her. But what did you think about the conversation they had at happy hour?
I'm gonna go ahead and be my foodie self. I'm trying to be politically correct because I would have said something else. Right. When she was like, my favorite thing to make is stuffed lobster, I literally said, go off, Aisha. Go all the way off. Stuffed lobster?
Come on.
I would have been like, can we just leave now? Do you want to make dinner instead? Because I know that's what we're about to eat right now. I love that. Aisha continues to surprise me. She continues to like add all these layers on top of everything I already like about her. Like on top of everything else we've already listed about you, Aisha. And we have the videos to prove it. You're going to be like, I love to make stuffed lobster. Stop it.
This is what happens when you've been married for 11 years.
Yeah, it was great. Anyways, that was the first thing that stuck out to me.
No, I love that. I absolutely love that.
I liked how they started off with the same conversation, straight up of, what do you want? We're older. Look, I have an excuse. I am officially 40. So that is all that matters to me. Get to the meat right away. I have friendships that I tend to daily because they're my family. It's extremely important to me. I have a career that I tend to daily. I have myself that I tend to daily. So for me to think that I'm going to be going on these little dates to get to know somebody smallly and then I don't, that's not where I'm operating from. So let's get straight to the meat. What do you want? What do you want? The trick is, my mom always said this, and I think this applies more to you if you're young, though. If you tell a man what they want,
your mama put me on game.
If you tell a man what they want, they will form to fit that. So there's that balance, right? It's really about making sure that you look at this point, though. Your discernment should be crafted and cultivated to a place that you're going to be able to smell bullshit. You're going to be able to look in their eyes and say, that's not what you want. You're saying that because that's what you think I want to hear. At least I know I can operate from that place. Not everybody can. So it's that fine line of being like, it depends on where you are, people. It just depends on where you are. If you're not aware of, if your discernment isn't that strong, if you haven't cultivated intuition that of other people and how they move enough, then probably asking what they want and telling them right off the bat isn't a good idea. But if you have, it's the best thing you can ask and do.
And you know what I think too, because I was thinking about this earlier, I'm not even sure if it's people's discernment. I think we're oftentimes extremely clear about what we want and what we don't want. But it is the courage to walk away.
Yeah.
Too often we will look at 85% of a person and be like, but this 85%, I just feel like I can't live without.
Well, because then you start thinking about everyone says like it's never going to be 100%, and that's accurate. I see, and that's pretty accurate. Like I'm far from, but
but that's that fine line.
I think that's why it's important just to really be like, have your points that are most important like they are. These people are cutting straight to it. They're saying, kids, conversation again. Kids, is that important to you? How important to you is that? And
yes or no?
It's a yes or no. And that for some people like Sean is a deal breaker, and that's okay. That's fine. We are allowed to have our top things of what are most important to us, because those things are going to bring us the most fulfillment and joy in life. And we want to share those things with somebody. That's the whole point about being ready to love and to love in general in itself. And when she felt safe enough to just open up to him and say why I don't want kids, it was so courageous. I just got goosebumps. It was moving. I mean, yeah, my back is tingling like crazy. It's just...
It's so real.
She got real. She got real, and it was beautiful to see her move like that, and it was really beautiful to see the way he reacts to her being like that. It was really heartwarming and delicious and scrumptious, and I just was savoring every minute of it. I was like...
I'm gonna tell you now, because we talked about this and we talked about Tyrone, confessing the fact that he deals with PTSD, and how real and honest and open you have to be to share something that could potentially be viewed as a detriment to someone else.
Absolutely.
I am at fault for that. Okay. There are parts of me I've felt like I've had to hide, because it's a blossoming, right? Like, you get to know people in stages. So I don't know how long Phil and Aisha have actually known each other, but it takes time for me to unfold things that I view are issues in my life. And to be able to admit to a man that you don't carry children well, and that you've struggled in that area and have those issues, to be able to say that. And for me to watch him as a man receive that as something, like, he cared. He was like, you
so
shouldn't have to put a mask on.
So sweet.
That just shows how my thinking is off. My thinking immediately goes to why somebody would not want to deal with that, when it's our broken places that make us more lovable and acceptable, and we're human. And I'm learning from that. I was like, wow, he wasn't like uncomfortable with her tears. He didn't seem, he embraced her, and that was beautiful. I needed to see that. I really appreciated that a lot.
Yeah. And I think the world needs to see more of the conversation that she had. You know, a lot of women struggle with this. I don't think it's something that's talked about enough. I know friends and family personally that have gone through it, and it's something that isn't understood. And I think once everyone can just have these conversations about it, understand it a little more, it'd be so beneficial to women that go through those types of things.
Yeah, because there would be that common thought that, okay, people know this is a thing. People know that this can happen. Isn't just like, boop, pregnant, boop, baby, boop, boop. There's miscarriages.
It's not, it can happen. It happens all the time.
Mm-hmm. And yes, and there are other situations too. So I was like, Phil, do I need to slide
I loved
your
it.
DMs?
Yeah, no, I really, I think you and Phil will be so good together. My mom and I were talking about it the other day.
Oh my God, your mom texted me. She was like, so I like that Phil guy. I was like, ooh, well, after this episode, me too.
Yes. Yeah, my mom's about to slide in his DMs for you if he, once we know what's going on after this show.
What a beautiful thing
I like
to watch.
that. I would feel very safe having you have somebody like that. I would, like, as your friend, you know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 And you think about it, and I don't know about you, but when we think about our highest love, who's that baby? Lucy.
Lucy.
You know, when you think about your highest love and what makes you excited about being in partnership, it's that. I look forward to somebody accepting all of me, and us being able to talk, and me accepting all of that, because I am accepting. I don't care about that stuff. I will learn to love you around whatever you think the problem is, because I'm cool with that. None of us are perfect, but why, what is it going to take for me to learn the same thing for myself? That it's okay that I'm not quote unquote perfect. You know, these are the things that
makes you feel safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because
I think I've only felt that safe once in my life with somebody.
Gosh, I felt it. I'm on a Sabrina. I done met the representatives. That'll make you feel real safe. But at the end of the day, it's like, you can't hold this weight.
Oh, he didn't hold the space at all.
Yeah, and like,
we're not together. Let's be honest. But I understand what that felt like, and it was amazing. There's nothing like being able to just go to sleep in someone's arms and sleep through the whole night and wake up in the morning. That's
and be
safety.
Good. Like, you're good. You're safe.
And then have a conversations of people, you go crying in the depths, and you talk about the real stuff that's happened to you, and you know, and pull someone in closer. You know, that's what we look forward to. And it was beautiful to see them do that. Yeah,
I love it. I love that so
that's love.
Much. So that's love. Ready to love. Ready to
love. All right,
well,
taking it from that really high frequency and vibration of love, let's go to Camille.
Let's bring it in. Let me just get ready. Because that date with Camille and Naeem, first of all, shout out to Naeem for being a real gentleman.
Wow.
What the front he had to put on.
100%. 100%.
Okay, the front he had to put on.
He is a grounded man. He has to be
He's grounded. He is so grounded. Grounded is the word. Like, I see red when I see him. Red for root chakra, okay? Just
all up in the root chakra.
Grounded. All up in the
I'm going to start calling him root chakra.
Root chakra.
Naeem, aka root chakra.
AKA root chakra.
was grounded as fuck during all that airy, flighty, fearful conversation going on in front of him.
She's a character. Camille is a character.
She really is. And yeah.
Like, it's not okay. He's like, I think he even mentioned needing somebody more grounded or something more. He was like, just to watch her and her antics. And I try to sympathize with people because I'm somebody I have a lot of antics. I got a lot of colors, but I'm not loco.
But you're not putting on.
Yeah,
you know, it's like I had something really nice to say, like, but I was still going to say something. I'm not going to say anything because I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, no. Sorry.
No, it's like, my own mind just trying to wrap my head around all this. I have empathy for somebody like her who doesn't know how to be just characters. I have empathy for characters. I think characters are great. There's nothing wrong with you being a character and you moving from that space of just putting on and being something all the time. But it's a disservice to you and the people around you, essentially, in the long run.
You better preach.
And that's what's concerning to me then, is that is she capable of, and as from what she has told us, she isn't capable of something real. She walks away, and I dare to say she walks away before she starts to get real because she's too afraid to just be herself.
It's fear.
Because, you know, if I think Cardi B comes to my mind. Cardi B is a character, and she is lovable through every single ounce of it.
Yeah.
Camille, I think, is completely capable of being lovable, but I just don't think she really wants to be loved enough to actually to be anything but just something else that's not authentic. And maybe that is authentic to her. And I lost you because this always happens. But that could be very well authentic to who she is. But I would love for her character to be brought to be more grounded. She could learn a lot from Root Chakra. She could learn a lot from Root Chakra, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like she has. Did you hear anything I said, or were I just talking to this?
I just disappeared after you said that she's not being authentic, essentially.
Well, basically, it's okay to be a character, but there needs to be some grounding, and she was around the right person, Root Chakra, to help ground her. But unfortunately, from the way that ended, it still wasn't enough to sink into the amount of growth. And I know she tweeted something saying, you know, like, production is going to make me look this way, da 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 da. But here's the simple truth of it all. I'm not condemning anything that she is or how she moves or is as a person. But those people aren't. I've been in the industry for 30 years. You say what you say how you say it. And it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to fucking eat shit and fail sometimes. That's okay. But when you try to avoid it, it makes me concerned for your well-being.
You know, you brought up an absolutely astounding point when you say Cardi B versus a Camille. Cardi B, I don't know what it is, but she keeps it real. All of the laughing and weird and that's her. I don't feel like I'm watching a character. I feel like if we were to go kick it at her house, sure, would she have moments where she's more toned down? Of course, nobody's on 10 all the time. But I feel like I know what I'm getting. Whereas with Camille, it's the same idea of a caricature, but there's something about it that's a mask.
Well, Sorry, I got to say it before I forget. It's a really great way to teach kids. It's a really great way to teach kids coming from that place of being like this, being quick, because kids are going to think it's funny and they're going to actually listen to that type of behavior. They're going to, she's probably a great teacher with her kids, but that's not translating into adult life.
It's not.
Because these are men she's dealing with. They're not children. She's treating them all like children.
Oh my God. And it is hard to watch. That was so uncomfortable watching that date and the way she was asking him questions. So, do you want kids? And well, yeah, my son's gonna call you this. And what about your finances? Girl, like, where is the grace? Where's the femininity? Where's the, like, what are you doing? What are we doing? I'm uncomfortable. I want to
I don't know what to say.
Got Naeem for handling, because Naeem.
That's it. And
I don't
I'm sure she's a
understand.
fantastic teacher to kids.
Yeah, with all the antics and the this and that, they probably love
Mm-hmm.
it. They can get with it.
Mm-hmm.
But there was something too that
And
I
that's why
wrote
she's really
down.
good with Cornelius.
Courtney. Oh, ay Dios mío, Courtney.
The
That's a whole
Scorpio comes
nother.
out sometimes.
Yeah,
Can't help it.
ugh.
Anyways, it's hard to watch Front Street on TV.
We're
Anyways,
gonna have to get,
I watch
yes,
enough of my industry every day.
yeah.
Anyway, that 4 date thing, nothing really stood out to me. I love that Sabrina got a hole in one. Of course she did. They were cute. I don't know what you talk about. I didn't really have.
So
It
I
was
did
nice. It
love.
was sweet. It was cute. There
Uh-huh,
was a vibe.
uh-huh.
Good energy.
Yes, and I think that that's what it mostly was about. I appreciated it because I do well in those types of
Hmm.
vicinities because I'm
Yeah.
competitive. So
Yes.
I
Me
would
too.
have been with
Exactly.
Sabrina like, oh, I'm about
It makes it
to,
lighthearted,
yeah,
fun.
y'all gonna see
Yeah.
me today because I'm about to get the whole
Uh-huh.
in one. And if I don't get it, you better show. Like we're gonna have fun. It's just, it's
And I won't
open
go
and
crying
light.
and kicking on the ground later like I would have when I was younger. I changed that about a
Yeah,
year ago.
yeah.
So it's okay. I'm ready for that now.
I'm so proud of you. Welcome. It's been a year. How does it feel?
Thanks. Feels great so far.
So far, so good. No,
So
I
far, so
love
good.
that. I loved a lot of laughter. I put laughing a lot, and with Mumin and Dante, there was a laughter and closeness. Sabrina and Dante, I like the way she grabbed him and was just like, "Let's go." Like I said, Sabrina has this flirtatiousness, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna have to talk about the difference between a Courtney and a Sabrina, okay? Because
And
that's
to each their
two
own. To
different
each their
women.
own.
Oh,
To each
I
their
love them
own.
both. I
Yeah.
love me some Courtney. Me and Courtney had some Twitter exchanges. Okay,
Oh, I love
I
that.
like who
Yeah.
she is as a woman. Like,
Totally.
not knocking her,
She's a
but there's a
Leo. I love
contrast.
Leos.
Yeah,
Yep. One
my
of my best
sister's a
friends is a
Leo.
Leo. Yep.
Yeah, so there's a contrast there. So I liked her taking a little bit of initiative.
Yeah.
But for me, what I wrote down with the 4 date thing was when Frank and Mumin were talking, she liked his vibe and that he was a man of vision and he knows what he wants. He wants to lead. And she also mentioned that she was willing to follow, which is huge. It is huge
Yeah.
to,
That was really
because as
cool.
a woman, you don't want to step on your man's toes. You know how women can be because you have a mother. I know how women can be because I have a mother. So some of those like nitpicky things, almost like I don't want somebody mothering me in my relationship. So there is a position I feel like a woman needs to take with a man where you're making sure you're almost not mothering him. You need to trust him enough to let him be a man. Let him be.
100%.
Let him be. So I love that she had that. But one thing that stuck out to me is when Mumin was talking about her no sex before marriage, which I understand. And even if she does decide to have sex before marriage, we're not going to lead with it. Him, professing that he was hypersexual was almost like an instant turnoff to me. Now, the conversation that they had was very mature. He did and said all the right things. I like Frank, so this is not that. It's just hypersexuality and the wait for marriage. That would be very concerning to me because it would almost be a red flag. Like, okay,
See, it's interesting. I feel completely opposite on that because we're different people
talk to
when it
me.
comes to that.
Yeah,
I thought it was really beautiful the way that they honored each other's values on each side. They respected the
It
fact that they
was.
both moved.
Yes.
And
Yes.
see, I can see people having that conversation that Phil has, and it can turn me off because I can be like, okay, you're just trying to fuck, right?
Yeah.
But
with Frank, yeah.
or Frank, I'm sorry, with Frank.
That's okay. Mm-hmm.
But the older I get, the more I think it's really important. It's really important to know if you are sexually on the same page as somebody or not. Because if you're not, that constant friction of you not seeing each other is going to lead to the thing that I think that people are fearful of having conversation of cheating. Just because someone's hypersexual doesn't mean they want to cheat. But if you're not capable of fulfilling that person's needs who is hypersexual, then they're going to cheat. And I think it's wonderful that he was honest with him, with saying, I am a hypersexual person. And I didn't get 1 second of that meaning I'm a slut and I'm a whore. So you gotta step me the way that I am because I want to go fuck everybody. No,
correct.
He was just saying my needs need to be met. This is one of my needs. I loved it, and I like that she was like, well, that's not where I get, And then later on we find out that he ends up seeing her a little more and thinking,
Yes.
Maybe that could change with the emotional component, but I don't think so. I think that
I don't
might
think
be
so
him.
either.
That's him trying to adjust
Being
because
the
of what we
Sean.
talked about earlier. Exactly. And him realize, and this is a great probably moment for him to be like, oh, wait, you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, no, hang on, that's not gonna work for me.
Yeah.
In the long
Yeah.
run. It's cute right now because
Yes.
I'm catching feelings for you. You're beautiful and you're fun. You're great, all the great things. But that's gonna be real important to you, buddy. It's gonna be real important to you.
Yeah. And I agree 100% with what you're saying. I agree with how Frank showed up, and I agree with how Mumin showed up. I think it was all beautiful. I think for me, what I'm putting on it is my personal thoughts. And when I think of dating, and it just comes off a certain way, just because it's like, I mean, obviously, I think sex is important. Like, it's so important. So it's not that. It just, I think, people like Mumin and even Cornelius, because I'm still trying to read him. I'm not really sure where some of the basis of his stuff comes from, if it's just taught and he's following, or if he genuinely feels things. But with Mumin, I can definitely tell that. And speaking as a woman, we have to be mindful, in my opinion, how we speak about and deal with sex. Because, look at things like Sabrina. Again, I'm not knocking her. I'm not saying we shouldn't, of course, I get the no sex before marriage thing, but I'm not going to put that on anybody. I'm not knocking anybody who does whatever, but it's like, even to have a child out of wedlock and to find out the man that you birthed this child with was a complete fraud. Some of these things that we go through can be eliminated if we just put sex on the back burner for a minute. Let me be a human to you first. Let me be a mind to you first. Let me be a spirit to you first, because when you involve sex, as beautiful as it is, sometimes I think we downplay how much it binds to people. And then now we're clouded in how we're dealing with each other because we're hypersexual and we need sex, and sex is sex. It's like, I get it, but how are we really going to make a connection that lasts if sex is on the front burner? So I agree with Mumin. There's other things that are more important. So I like how Frank played it. Yes, be hypersexual, and you want a man with a sex drive. I don't want to get married to a man who don't want to have sex with me. But it's just like, how can we evolve to a space where it's like, all right, sex, cool, but let's get to the things, because sex ain't gonna raise the child. Sex ain't gonna keep us together
No,
when we're
but it is going.
65.
No, but it
Sex ain't
is.
gonna.
It is though. Sex is going to be the thing that's
Not
going
too
to keep.
early. Not too
Well,
early,
eventually in life
in
it
my
will though. Those
opinion.
things are going to be necessary, or else someone's going to
Eventually.
go somewhere else and get what they need somewhere else. He's a man. There are some
Eventually.
men that are okay with
Yes.
that, but he's a man through and through at the end of the day. So
Yeah,
it's
but you
just as
gotta, if
important
you
for
can't
you to
curb,
be.
yeah.
I agree with you because I see how that works for you. I
Because if
respect
you
and see
can't
how that
curb
works
that,
for you. But for someone
if
like
you,
me, that would never work. Because if that's
but
not
yeah,
there,
yeah.
there's nothing. How we going? How we
No,
going?
but
What we gonna do? What we
it
gonna do?
can be there. That's the thing. It can be there. Nobody's saying like not let it be there, but just if that's the driving factor, it's not gonna work. It just
No,
doesn't
I
work
don't
like
believe it's a
that.
driving factor for him. I believe
Yeah,
it's one of his. I believe it's one of his lists of things that are important. I
right.
think it's important to him. I don't think it's a driving factor. I don't think it's the thing that motivates him to act accordingly. I think he's saying it's important to me. This is what I'd like. Do you are and how important it's to you, and do you like it just as much? And I think that's just as vital as
Yeah.
asking somebody if they want kids or not.
No, it is. And I think the sex is important, but I do think when it comes to dating in a particular, it's good to curb it just a little bit. Like, you can ask the questions and know if it's there to be, just like you're not going to have a kid on the first date. Like, whether I want kids or not is one thing, but we're not going to start trying for that tomorrow to birth a kid because we both want them. There's going to be, a process. So, because this is the thing, there's time, like, if he's hypersexual, which is, what is he gonna do when Mumin gets pregnant and can't have sex for 2 months because it is? Is he gonna be hypersexual, or is he gonna be able to relax and curb his desires and rest on the other things that are important? Because yes, sex is important, but it's not more important
I don't
than
know. I don't know because if he got to wait
commitment
that
or
whole time till
whatever.
they got married, and then all of a sudden they have a baby, and then he doesn't get it all, he's probably going to go somewhere else. So it would be important for him to be with somebody that is
Yeah.
ready for it, because then when she has a baby, he's not lacking. He didn't wait all this time to just finally get it and then have a kid and then be like,
Yeah, but
So
and
I think
that's
it's on
just
the
one example. Yeah,
right. And
but
I think
ooh, that's a
to
tough
each their
one.
own, to each their person. And I think that's one
Yeah.
more thing that we're saying. Like, that might not be compatible as much as they're starting to see. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of
But
makes
who
me
I
wonder,
go ahead.
yeah, why they didn't pair Mumin and Cornelius already, because they neither one of them want to have sex before marriage. So
That's not good
where's their
TV.
date?
That's not good
Okay.
TV. That's not good TV. And I think the
Two
reason for
people
that
that
one,
they want to read the Bible together. They want to
yeah, I think those are two different
FaceTime
reasons
my
too, though.
mom.
I don't think Mumin is having the same reasons of waiting that the other guy is.
Yeah.
But can we go on to Shauna and Tasia, because
Let's
I
talk
keep
about
looking
it.
at my page.
Talk to me, please.
She
What are we
looked
seeing?
so beautiful.
She did.
Tasia looked gorgeous.
Yeah, she gave us glorious in this episode.
It was nice. I felt like I saw her for the first time again since the interview, or just like I just felt like I felt her just release the walls and not feel the burden of the whole situation and the rejection and everything. And she just felt free again. And it was such a beautiful moment to see, because I wasn't sure we were going to see this on the show or not. And I'm just so happy for her. I'm so happy for her. She got this experience, and they had fireworks. When I saw them, I was like, oh, this could really work. They the generational gap, perfect, because I think she operates from an older mentality but still is youthful. I think he operates from an older mentality but is still youthful. Like they just, and that's not an opposites attract thing. That's a likeness and a counterbalancing each other to accumulate to like a likeness of oneness to being,
Yeah.
I think they are so cute. I really hope we see more of them together. I think they would have such cute little babies. I love that he said, I still have the energy. And she took it sexually. Speaking of, the girl took it sexually.
But come on,
but he was taking it like he was just like physically. No, I'm energetically, mentally. I have the energy still.
But she's like, I hope you got that. She was
energy. Like, what you mean you got the energy for me?
I feel that.
I loved it. I think that was it was one of the my favorite moments that we've had in the show for a while, just the way that they vibed and energy and the fireworks that were exploding. It felt like I was watching something really blossom as opposed to other things that come, the dating scene. I felt like I was seeing something really turn into something here.
You really said it perfectly. And she did. She looked beautiful. She looked gorgeous, and she was here for it. And I definitely think she was able to show up because he had men there. He wasn't one of the ones that rejected her.
Yeah, 100%.
He has, this was a fresh situation. She had even mentioned it, I believe, in the previews. Like, she was excited to get something fresh because she had already felt defeated with the current pot that was there, which I completely understand.
Absolutely. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be the same way probably. I wouldn't be able to.
Me too. Oh, I could relate. It was like, oh, he's fresh, he's new, he didn't reject me. He wasn't one of the ones talking about me, not feeling me. Let me see what's up, because I'm ready to love. I'm here for this.
Hey, maybe she was through that rejection process able to actually be more grounded like she was with him, though. The very first minute we watched them, she was still kind of like, me. Oh, not girly drink. She was still putting on a little bit. But I think maybe this experience, maybe like that triggered and that clicked where she was like, that's not going to work for me. Let me ground, and let me just really connect. Because after that first little sentence they showed us, I felt like I saw her again. You know what I mean?
I do. I know what you mean. And it's interesting because as I listened to you talk, I had a lot of the same sentiments. The only thing is I did not feel fireworks with them. I did not see the chemistry. However, okay, do we have it a little bit too twisted about what a real relationship might? Maybe it's not all of this. And and finishing each other's sentences and fireworks and it. Maybe the real stuff looks exactly what they presented.
That's what I agree. That's what I mean.
You get what I'm saying? So I'm with you on that.
I didn't see fireworks in the external presence of they
just
No, it was just like commonality, church, Southern Baptist. I want kids. Are you other? I like that. It was just they were playing ping pong, and it was really enjoyable to watch, and it wasn't put on, it wasn't forced.
Yes.
It felt natural. Those are my favorite connections, simple, natural connections. That's what I believe truth to be for myself. So maybe that's why I appreciated it so much, as opposed to being something else.
No. And I can get caught. She wasn't putting on.
She was just. She was having a conversation. I don't know. Present. I hope they do. You know me though. I'm hopeless. I'm a hopeless romantic. I just liked all those little things. Church, kids, both approving the age gap. I think they're a really cute couple.
Yeah. I
I
think she
love
would be
all his
happy with him and
muscles, and
vice
I love
versa.
her
Yes.
beautiful, like womanly body. Like she would still feel safe with him. And I don't
Yes.
know. I'm going off because I just love the dynamic between the both of them.
Yeah, and he's entrepreneurial and creative, and so is she.
So is she.
So it's just kind of like,
Yeah,
how
they
can
can step
they
together. They can build together.
correct?
That is so important.
Oh my God, do we have a mismatch?
I hope
Do we
so. That'd be
have a
amazing.
match?
Speaking of
I
not
would
having
love
a
that.
match, we can go on to Corny and Courtney, Cornelius and Courtney. Um,
She did.
I was just bored that whole time.
I was. They don't
There's
match.
no. I mean,
She.
obviously for TV they did this, and I don't know. And then his. You can talk on this one. I'm not going to say
Yeah.
things because I don't
So
want to.
my notes, going after for what she wants. She's a boss. I get that. I like the way
She
she
still puts on a
presented.
little too much too, though.
That's what I was
Yeah,
gonna say, because I
yeah.
like that, because I like a woman who's just like,
She's also
don't get it
30. She's
twisted now.
figuring it out.
And that's what I was gonna say.
By the
She's a
time she's
little
40,
bit.
she's gonna be a queen conquering the world before she knows it. She's just learning through this.
She don't even have to say
She has
nothing.
all the tools. She has all the tools.
All of it.
Exactly. She doesn't have to say anything. She just
She
has
don't gotta
to be
say
present.
nothing.
Yeah,
She don't
100%.
gotta say nothing.
Yeah.
Girl, we see you. You ain't got to
Uh-huh.
tell nobody. Okay.
But you know what? The
So
only way to figure out that you don't got to tell nobody is by telling somebody and allowing us to even see that, and then you can see yourself. So the
yeah. Especially
process,
being a
the
Leo. Roar
process, the
like a
process.
lion.
My moon's a
You gotta
Leo. Trust me, I get it. That's why I can say it so freely. I was in the same
right.
place
I
at
completely
30.
me too. Me
Yep.
too. Me too. I was very defined by what I accomplished, because I felt like that made me somebody. It was a metric. It made me feel like that was something else to add to me or something. You know what I mean? Like, I get this done, I get that done, I'm a boss. Like,
But also,
I'm a
like us, 30, still trying to date someone with a younger mentality like Cornelius and being attracted to that. And I think for somebody like for Courtney is going to be an older man.
Oh, but she says that. She wants an older man. He's never going to fit her.
100%.
He will never.
Well,
He could
no,
never. She
no.
would eat him up for breakfast daily.
Oh my God, I
There'd
have a
be
funny
nothing
thing to
left of
say.
that man.
I was just thinking to myself about the Camille, and who was it that she went on her date with?
Naeem.
And they were talking about kids, and who can call him sir.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, oh, do you just want 2 kids? Is that what it is? Like,
oh,
they would be like brothers. You know what I mean? Like I
yes,
felt
I
that
do.
it just felt like when I watched it,
She
I'm like,
wants to teach her and mommy around the
and
house,
that
and that's not how you
terrifies
do a
me.
man. Yeah, no.
No, and it terrifies me that he actually wants that. It doesn't.
He didn't want that from her.
Uh, well, Cornelius' favorite person is
Oh,
Camille.
Cornelius's favorite. Well, yeah, but Sydney said it. Oh, he gives me little brother vibes.
Yeah.
Little brother.
Mm-hmm.
Does he want to be
Anyways,
mommied by Camille?
yeah, Courtney is way too much for yeah, she needs a grown ass man.
Yeah. Oh, she'd chew him up and spit him out. No question about it.
Yeah.
She even said she likes him seasoned. And then he's still on that, oh, I want us to do this and be able to kill a red carpet. And I get that language, but I guess just because I'm over the Hollywood scene, I'm like, I don't know.
They're young. They should still be into it.
That what?
They're young. They should still be into it. Like,
yeah, it's like,
moving.
I get it, but it's just, I don't know. Yeah. It's like Cornelius gets younger and younger every episode. How old is he? 27? I don't know.
I think he's older than Courtney.
I don't know what it is.
I do.
And
Anyways,
he's
moving
nice
on.
guy, but,
Frank and Moomin. I really like them together.
Okay, Frank and Moomin. Do we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So Frank and Moomin, they definitely had chemistry and energy. I think we're all done with the dates. Like those were all the dates.
We did it.
So, now it's kind of like that deliberation moment where they were coming to the cuts.
They know what's coming. Like they have to know what's coming because they know the date that it's about to be filmed. They know these next dates are setups for being, you can see it and sense it in both of those women. They are uncomfortable. They are not ready for this conversation. Who would be? But both men, man, they handled it with so much grace.
I agree.
They are men. I really enjoy watching these guys in the show. Like the one they keep getting cut down
I
and you
do.
start seeing the men that are here. They are really cool. They are really great men. Well,
I
except for one of
definitely.
the men are the men.
I love you guys. You're like the men.
Men.
I love how, Walter said Zadia was cool and quick-witted. It looked to me he was genuinely shocked that he was going to enjoy her presence so much. Like he wasn't shocked, but he also was. And I really like that because from the beginning I've liked Zadia. I don't know what it is about her, but
She's like you.
oh yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, she's like she's not cold, but she treads lightly and cautiously. And she puts that the humor and like the jabs and stuff to give her that space to still not completely dive in vulnerable and be vulnerable until she's ready. And that's respectable and commendable in itself.
Yeah, there's a blossoming to it, and she's a
Yeah.
family
She's like, you
woman,
have to
and
earn this.
which
I
makes
get that.
sense.
I've done
Yeah.
that in the past, but I wonder if that holds me back if you sit in that too much. You know what I'm
If
trying
you
to
sit in
say?
it too much, there has to be a pace
Yeah.
to it now. You don't want to
Yeah.
rest there.
And how can the person that you're dating, though, and that's the great part about watching her and Walter, though, is that
Yeah.
that pace was together. It was easy because they bounced. She did that, and then she was able to jump in. Like I know when I've done that and been more like cautious, it's because I don't feel like I could even jump in with that person.
Do you want to see? Come on now. Now
You
that is a
know?
whole word right
Mm-hmm.
there. And this is that discernment we've been talking about this whole episode. It's like you need to know when you're feeling some kind of way because I felt the same way. You know how colorful I am. People don't believe I'm shy because I get up and host, but I am shy. And there's a shy
Mm-hmm.
part of me. I'm introverted. There's all these things. But in order to get to that, there's a recipe of energy that just needs to be happening, or you're going to see something, but the full flower is not going to blossom if you don't. I'm going to know if you don't have the space for that. But then that's also that moment where I need to make the decision to stay or go. And I know just like Sabrina, just like Sean, I've ridden things out longer than it needed to be because I was like, am I really feeling this way? Is it because no, you're feeling this way. They're not giving you the space. You don't feel comfortable for a reason. Let it go.
Yeah.
What are you
It's easier
doing?
said than done. We all know that. So much easier said than
Easier
done.
said than done. My
Especially for
God.
someone like you and I who like 1% of people. So, but it was a great episode. I didn't catch the preview. I'm sure you did though. What's coming up next? Any future predictions of like I said, I'm a huge I really like Frank and Moomin. I think they could find a balance within each other and
Yeah.
I'm really rooting
That's
for
what
it.
I put. Frank finds Mumin cherishable.
Yeah.
Now that is a word that you
That's
look
huge.
for when you're looking for a husband. I need a
Yeah,
man who
absolutely.
cherishes
Yeah.
me. So I love that. Dante, he said, huh?
I would love to see more of Sean and Cecilia. I would love to see them go on another date and see where that goes.
Yeah. Yes. So Tasia did it. I'm just looking at some of my notes here. I love that Shiloh is still on top for Bill because
Oh
he
yeah,
said
I
that
missed
she
her this
forces.
episode.
Yeah, she wasn't so much highlighted. We didn't see her at all.
No,
Shiloh.
but and the great thing is though, how many men still brought her up though? Was it just one or two?
That's
Or
what
three?
that's what I'm going over my notes. I think it's like 2-3 guys.
Three of them, yeah.
Zadia and Shiloh are very desired. Sabrina too, but Shiloh, I think
Yeah.
Zadia, Sabrina.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another I'm not mad at that. Another thing that I kind of brought. First of all, I was a little shocked that Courtney was the one cut, but then I wasn't. I guess at the same time because I'm telling you, TV, it was good,
but also she's not compatible for any of those people. Yeah.
No, and I just think again, some of that energy, like her
she's too young for those men.
I think that she's too. Again, I mentioned this in the last episode, but I just say these kinds of things because it's just my personal conviction. It's like, it's okay to be sexual, but when your one-liners are better than men, they looking at you like the homeboy. There's a fine line between being available to be sexy and sexual and being like, oh, because I'm gonna take you off the bench, you're gonna play in the game. When your shit is like that, like I feel like guys are seeing, because even Walter, he's just like, yeah, that's the homie. Like they're all seeing her like, yeah, she cool. But I just feel like she put herself more on the same playing field in a certain way instead of.
I don't know. I think she's fine the way she is. I just think I don't
She's
think
fine the
those
way
men
she
know how
is.
to. I don't think those
Yeah.
men know how to adjust and handle that type of energy. I think
Her man's
I
not
think
there.
no. I think her man is a little more feminine. I think her man's a little more feminine, but still knows how to parlay off of that type of encounter. That's just what my instincts would go to. I think he's going to lean on the more feminine side.
I think her man is super masculine. It's just the fact that he's going to be older, because there's nothing wrong with her. But what I'm saying is, I could definitely see how these guys found more of a homie in her as opposed to somebody to date, because she's special. The way she moves, the way she functions, it's different. You know how, like we say, we're kind of like the 1%. She's in a different percentile because of the way she is. And it's going to take a special man. I know what you mean with feminine, because he could be super masculine.
Yeah, but he's going to be much more in tune with his feminine emotions than these guys are. Yeah.
Let me let her, exactly.
100%.
He's going to make
let me
room
let her,
for her.
Yes.
There we
I'm
go.
not
And
trying to. I think she'd be okay with me saying this because I don't ever want to offend anybody, but I feel like she could very easily be a bisexual woman. I don't know if she is, but I feel that energy from her. And if I feel that from a woman, usually I think that their counterpart would be somebody that is, you know, a masculine man who is still in tune with his femininity and lets the woman still kind of carry, you know.
In tune with his, because it's like Walter almost cuts it, but I don't know what it is. I think maybe it was his ego a little bit, because he did mention how, when we was on the date, you was all over him and she was all over him. So I thought,
I don't think
mean?
he could handle. I don't think Walter could handle a little hottie, like young hottie like that.
Yeah, she's a little bit too much for him. There you go. I love that.
Somebody like Sabrina, I think he would be great with, because she's all that but just older. You know, she's grown, sexy, delicious, and all those things, which was refined. And I think that's, you know, Walter's in that space.
Yeah, she's polished all that off. Where, you know, Courtney, she's still feisty with it. And I love it.
I love it.
Nothing wrong with anybody.
I love it, just not for Walter.
It. I like want to be friends with her. I want to like hang out. I feel like I can learn from Courtney.
100%. 100%.
No lies. Okay.
No lies.
But I don't really remember too much of the previews, because I watched last Friday night, and you know, we're coming up on another Friday, but we'll see. Do you have any predictions on who you think might be getting cut next episode? So
I think Camille's getting cut. Oh, it's guys though. I think they're gonna do it. I think they're gonna do Camille.
They might mix it up, huh?
I think they're gonna do Camille because they're uneven right now. They were at 9-7, I believe, and now they're at 8-7. I think they're gonna even the odds a little bit, or at least if they do take a guy out, they're still gonna take Camille out. Could be wrong, but that's just my gut. It's telling me.
I feel like they should have took her out this episode, because it's like we already know all she wants is Cornelius. So why? We didn't get to see Courtney really date on. I feel like that could have been fun to see Courtney date, because she was open to it.
Yeah.
But Camille, she's already like, I don't even know why we're here, because I already said who I like. So what?
That was, I just got chills. It was so hard to watch.
It was bad. It was really bad. And I understand her, because it's like when you meet somebody, you pick something that, like, you feel like you got a man already. But then you need to go home. Y'all can talk when you get home. Even Cornelius could talk when you get home.
Yeah, but they can't. It's on TV show, so that's probably hard for her too. Yeah. I get it. I have empathy and understand what she must be going through, but
she don't want nobody else but him. So what are we doing?
But here's the thing: in my personal, humble opinion, I don't think that they're a match anyway. So
no, they're not.
All of this that she's putting herself through, you know, she's kind of taking away the learning experience, essentially.
Yeah, from not only herself though, but I mean, like, even from others, because I do feel like, again, you know, Courtney might have had a chance. I just don't feel like she had a chance to like get in there with anybody else, but she was willing. Camille's not even willing.
Who do you think's gonna go home?
I definitely think Camille. You know, just because I just don't feel like there's anywhere for her to go, especially when we're talking about TV. But I also think Sean is on the chopping block, unfortunately.
I do. I do too. I think if it's not Sean, I think the only person I can think of would be Naeem, for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah,
because we haven't, again, you know, he's not giving. He's amazing, but he's just not giving.
He's great. 100%.
We're not getting enough from him. So yeah, Naeem, Sean, because the women in deliberation didn't really have a lot to say about Sean. They were like, meh. And Camille got really bad reviews in deliberation as well from the other men. Like they just didn't
change with Tasia though, with the women, but who knows?
You think Tasia and Sean hold enough weight to keep them there? Maybe.
I think they have enough commonality, but we'll see. I've been wrong this whole time, most of the time with them. Did we have any questions? I know we're just getting this started, so we're building our audience and building, you know, everything. But did we have any questions, any interaction?
Well, we did have a post from someone else that I thought. I asked another Twitter babe what they thought, and here we go from Tondaway.
Tondaway. Courtney was way too forward. Camille, rude as hell. Rude as hell. Why haven't Moomin and Courtney was going on a date since they have the same value? Is she reading your mind? What is Walter actually looking for there? Sean seems like a loser. Where is Shiloh? So, Tandy should be on the show with us because they were the same way.
I told her, I was like, girl,
we are on the same
I got
page.
nothing to say. Like,
you summed it up so much. We took an hour and 25 minutes, and you did that in 3 letters.
A 140 character tweet.
It's amazing.
We love to see it. We love you guys. Thank you for your feedback, for your interaction. All of you guys who have tuned in, who comment and retweet and all of the things. We enjoy this. We hope you enjoyed as much as we do.
Thank you so much, Will Packard, and everybody that puts this on. We are enjoying it so much. Thank you to everybody that's on the show for showing themselves once again. You are seen, you are appreciated. You are helping all of us grow, all of us get ready to love, and it's really wonderful.
It is so wonderful. Very well said. We appreciate all of you guys, and you know what it is. Season 5, episode 7 airs on Friday 8/7 Central. We're gonna be watching, and then you know what we're gonna do. We're gonna come to you with the after discussion.
I think we'll try to do it. Let's try to do it Saturday. Try to get that.
Yeah, we can do it. We can do it Friday after the show, or we can also do it Saturday.
We could all do it Friday after the show too. Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, on AfterBuzz TV. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. Regardless, we're coming to y'all.
We sure are. We're coming
after the show. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Jaimi.
I'm Gus.
See you next week. Bye.
Till next time.